Hi, everybody. Happy birthday, Maggie. So if y'all have a birthday, let me know. I just happen to know it was Maggie's birthday because she's very subtle about it all over Facebook. And it's on it's Maggie's birthday page. It's on it's Maggie's birthday group. It was on the ABC News last night, right before the debate. That's debatable. Whether I don't know what it was. Hi everybody, it's good to see you. A couple of things. First of all, welcome to episode 27. It is the 23rd day of October in the 18th year of 2020. Or 19th year. I've kind of lost count. It is Friday, and which, oddly enough, is the, hello, which oddly, hey, am I in the screen?
Yes.
Okay.
Here, let me. The top of your head is
It's a wet cough. Thank you, Annie. I don't know who's keeping count with me, but oddly enough tonight, the name of the show is It's Friday Again. So it is Friday again. This is our 28th Barron Landscapes, including the not Barron Landscapes. So it's good to see you guys. I've got this red book out. Some of you have seen the red book running. It's been in a couple of episodes of Barron Landscapes, and it's making an appearance back in Barron Landscapes again. I'm going to tell you a real brief story about this book. This book belonged to, I would say, a mentor of mine or a teacher of mine, magic mentor, magic teacher, dear friend. Started out as a dear friend. In fact, when I met the gentleman, I didn't even know he did magic. It didn't come up in conversation. My mother was friends with his wife, and we would go over there for dinner once a week. Magic never happened. I turned 7, and the guy asked me if I wanted to see a trick. If you guys remember the episode where I rubbed the quarter into my elbow, that was the very first piece of magic I ever learned, and it was this guy that taught me that very first piece of magic. His name was Louis Simonoff, and Louis has passed on now. And I got passed down his notebook for the magic class that he did. It was at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, and it was considered a lab class. So he got it through the psychology board there and ran it as a lab, how to do magic in a laboratory setting. And so that's how one of the ways that I got to do magic. Louis showed me a little magic when I was 7, got bitten by the bug, and then I ended up taking Louis' class year after year after year. That's where I met a lot of the other folks that ended up being teachers, not mentors, but being teachers to me. And as I grew older, Louis would find out if I was in town, and I would go teach a class for him. My style, my way of magic. And so he would introduce me to those poor, unwitting children who were usually adults, but those poor, unwitting children who were learning magic. But I have this red binder, and I was given this red binder after Louis died with no intention of doing anything other than putting it on the bookshelf and knowing that I had it, knowing that it was safe. It's Louis' curriculum for magic classes. And I've been trying to think about what to do with such a book, and I think there's a story involved. Everybody that knew Louis had a Louis story. I think there's a storybook involved. I think there's a magic book involved. And I reached out to a friend of ours the other day, and I said, now what do you think about this? Louis was his mentor as well as my mentor at different times, of course. What do you think about this? I'd like to publish the red binder. And he said he thought that was a wonderful idea. And as I was typing out, I wonder if you would write the foreword for the book. He sent, hey, I would love to write the foreword for the book. So it means it's supposed to happen. That means that this book is supposed to be out. And it's going to be like a beginner's magic book. It'll be great for kids. It'll be great for adults. But for beginners. And it's going to have some wonderful magical stories in it. It's going to have some magical people in it. And it'll have some great asides. In other words, you won't even need to be a magician to enjoy the book. I don't know if you guys see my t-shirt tonight. My t-shirt tonight, if you can't read it, it says, it's about a magician. There's a magician there. And it says, what does it say, honey? It says,
He might find a rabbit in there, but he'll never find dignity.
yeah, he might find a rabbit in there, but he'll never find dignity. It's been a magician week. It's been like on and on with nothing but trouble from magicians all week long. And right, Athena's going like, what else is new? So it has been absolutely crazy. The cancel culture thing is still continuing. It's winding down a little bit in the magic world, but they're still crushing this guy, ruining his life, ruining his career. In fact, they've had him on a lot of podcasts just to show how badass he is. And every time he's on a podcast, his ratings go up. And they put tons of Facebook posts out. And every time they put Facebook posts out, his ratings go up. And so they're crushing him. They're really showing him. But the way cancel culture is working for him is not the way that it works normally. Now, for him, he's a bad boy. He doesn't care. He's a James Dean. He's an Andrew Dice Clay. And I hear Andrew's straightened up his act now. He's cleaned up his act. But this guy's a bad boy of magic. He didn't care about magic. He didn't care about magicians. He doesn't make his money from magic or magicians. And so he's loving this publicity that the magicians keep thrusting onto him. And it's not hurting his pocketbook. It's not hurting his feelings. It's not canceling his culture. Cancel culture can be a good thing if it's used responsibly, like anything else. But there you have it. Watched a great documentary. We haven't finished it yet. It's ugly. This is one of those documentaries that you'll watch and you hit it on pause, and then you watch a little bit more and you hit it on pause, because you can't watch it all the way through. It's a 2-hour documentary. It's on Hulu, and it's called Totally Under Control. If you hadn't guessed, it's about the pandemic. Whatever you want to call it. COVID-19, coronavirus, CV-19. It's about Wuhan flu, Kung flu, whatever you want to call it. Whatever you want to call it. The Democratic virus, I saw somebody call it the Democrat virus. And I'm like thinking, yes, because it's a good thing that it's only going after Democrats. It obviously, Republicans have hands off. And independents like me don't have a thing to worry about. It's this virus, you guys, is not political by its nature. We have politicized it. The virus doesn't care whether you're red, blue, purple, green. All the virus knows is it needs to replicate. That's its driving desire, to replicate, to make more of itself, to not die. And so that's all it cares about. It doesn't care about your personal protection equipment. It doesn't care about your politics. It doesn't care about your bank account. It doesn't care about your insurance. It doesn't care about your genders. It doesn't care about you. So this documentary, Totally Under Control, talks about kind of how the whole thing has come together specifically for the United States. And I've got to tell you, we haven't done real well. We have had pandemic potentials in the recent past. And our handling of those pandemic potentials, now I'm going to say something and don't go all cancel culture on me, but those pandemic potentials, we had an H1N1 that came through here about 7 years ago, 8 years ago.
H1N2, I thought.
H1N1, yeah, that's right. H1N1 came through here and killed about 12,000 people, which, that's a lot of people. But comparatively, on the range of pandemic viruses, epidemic viruses, 12,000 is containment. 12,000 is horrible, but it's what we could do, and it's a saving grace. It didn't kill 100,000. It didn't kill 150,000. It didn't kill 175,000. It didn't kill 200,000. It didn't kill 225,000. It didn't kill almost 250,000 people. We are a country that is about 4% of the population of the planet, about 4%. We're not big. We're not a big country. Out of that 4% population of the planet here in the United States of America, we have 20% of the deaths Those are big numbers. Those are the law of large numbers coming into play. Here in our little town, it's really picking up, you guys. We're nervous. We're uptight. I wouldn't say we're afraid. I wouldn't say we're scared. Yeah, I wear my mask everywhere I go. I wipe everything down. I'm trying to keep clear of this thing to not bring it home. We're very careful about our house. This is our safe, sanitary sanctuary. I can't say it's a sane sanctuary, but it's a sanitary sanctuary. And so we're doing everything we can because we've seen the cases go from 0, and this in a very short time. We've seen the cases go from 0 to 6 to 12 to 18 to 48 to 59 to 65. We are now approaching 200 cases, and we may already be there. I don't know what the numbers are for today. Deaths, locally, we only have 5. Oh gosh, I said only, and I really hate that. My mind says there are only 5 dead, but my soul says there are 5 people that have died. Heavy times, man. Heavy times. I want you guys to stay healthy, wash your hands, wear your mask, do everything you can to keep yourself safe. And I got news for you, and this is the scary part of it. There are a lot of people, we just lost another friend, there are a lot of people that wear their masks, wash their hands, wear gloves when they pump gas, don't go out, and they're still dying. So the virus finds a way to get to us. Less likely if we do everything we can. So crazy ass times we're living in, you guys. Speaking of crazy ass times, next week is the Halloween show. I would love everybody to bring your friends in. They don't have to stay in the group. Bring them into the group just for next week. They can leave after the show. We're doing a Halloween show. It's going to be spooky. Going to have Halloween stories. And you know what? I'm not going to make up any Halloween stories. Because, and for those of you that know us, you'll know that Athena and I have had some strange stuff happen to us in our lives. And so I'm going to be relaying to you stories that Athena and I have lived. It's not going to be, I heard this from someone, or, we were told. These are going to be things that Athena and I and our kids have absolutely lived through. Speaking of kids, hi kids, I don't know if Zoe's watching. If Zoe's watching, Gradale loves you. If Tori and Alex and Blake and Emmy are watching, Gradale loves you. If the kids are watching, Gradale loves your children.
Dante needs a dog sitter next.
I love you guys too. Dante needs a dog sitter next week?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, I can do that. What have I got going? Yeah, I can do that. I'm not doing anything, sis. I'll do that tomorrow. Isn't it nice? I have a talk show where my daughter can text in and go, can you watch my flippin' dogs for me? So next week is the Halloween episode. And we're going to do some magic. It's going to be the heaviest magic episode we've done on Barron Landscape. It's going to be very magic rich. I hope it's going to be stuff that you haven't seen before as far as magic goes. I know some of you are magic lovers. Some of you are magicians. And so you fancy that you've seen everything magic. I bring your attention over here. Oh, books! Before I move on to the magic, I just want to, here's my mindset this week. So the newest book that I've started reading was suggested to me by Athena, and it's called Mr. Stupid Goes to Washington.
It's a good book.
It's a funny book. It's an improbable book. It's this sort of fantasy political comedy story about this guy that he's an entrepreneur. He's like a superstar dude, but he's not the greatest guy. But he runs for president and gets elected president. Mr. Stupid Goes to Washington, and so that's the book I'm currently on. I want to share a book with you guys that our kids grew up with in our bathroom. Christopher, is Chris watching?
I haven't seen him yet,
okay,
but that doesn't
if
mean
he's
anything.
watching, and I don't know if we've seen him click in or not, but if Christopher's watching, I guarantee this will get a giggle out of him. This always gets a giggle out of him. This, I think, is Christopher's favorite bathroom book. He's grown up now. Happy birthday, Chris. He's grown up now, but fart proudly. Fart proudly. Quotes by Benjamin Franklin. Folks, you got to get this book. There are some good quotes in it on turkeys. And turkeys and farting, and kites. Well, of course there's going to be kites. My next favorite book, I've been going, sorry about that, that's my bald head. My next favorite book, I've been reading a lot this week. I've got an email that I'm supposed to send out. It's about a week overdue. But I haven't sent it out yet because every time I start sending the email out, it seems to, the salutation on the email says, "Dear asshole." Assholes. And I don't want to send it out that way. But I'm reading it. This is a great book. I don't think I've brought this book up to you. It's Assholes Theory. A theory. And so, Aaron James, it was a New York Times bestseller. And it talks about why people are buttheads. What it is that makes a person be a butthead. And there's good buttheads and there's bad buttheads. And if you're wondering, I switched the word butthead for the word asshole. Just because there are kids watching and stuff. So, and I'm the granddad. So there's that. So next week, magic. This particular setup, a lot of people have seen this and asked me about this setup. This, and those rat traps just make my fingers hurt. Yes. That's Eli, that's Ben, that's Michael Jackson. That's Squeaky. This is a piece of magic called Rats, R-A-T-Z. It's a piece of magic that I designed, I put it together, I scripted, and it's only mine. You won't see it anywhere else. Bad news is you're not going to see it here next week either because it takes about 5 people on stage to do it. So we're not going to see this for a while. But when we can see it, I will tell you what, we'll get a video of it, and I'll put that video up online so that everybody can take a look at it. Don't forget, find us at YouTube. If you can't find Barron Stringfellow at YouTube, look for Stringfellow Consulting. If you can't find that, just do hashtag Barron Landscapes, because hashtag Barron Landscapes will take you to those 28 Barron Landscapes that are now up on YouTube. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is Talon. Talon is a unique magic stick. Not so much a wand per se as a magic stick. But Talon's got a story. Oh, I'm going to save that until next week. And next week, we're actually going to do a card piece. And it's a card piece put together by a friend of mine, assembled here at our house, but put together by a friend of mine. And it's not a card trick, it is a card piece. And it uses a very old deck of cards. And these are they. They are, I'm going to get closer so that you can take a look. They are very old, and these are printed when people had really good eyes, apparently, because the indexes are really small. So we're going to do a piece with this next week, and someone out there is going to be called upon and asked to help out with this piece of card magic. It's not magic. This particular piece is very witchy, very scary, and it's more what I would call a card horror story than anything else. So, do tune in next week, and stay healthy. We will see you Friday, October 30th, the night before Halloween, the night that the veil thins, the night that the spooky ookies start walking the earth. And that night, this is all going to look different. We're going to do us a spook show. I look forward to seeing you and your friends and family all present and accounted for. So, we love you. We'll see you next Friday. Keep watching. Invite your friends into the group so that they can watch the show next Friday. There's no charge. It's free, just like always. Bring your spirits up, especially next week. We intend to raise a lot of spirits. I'm Barron. Athena and I thank you so much for coming into our living room. Really appreciate it. Thank you to the music guys tonight, Rand Woodbury and a group called In the Audience. And Brian Anderson, as usual, did our opening music. You guys are spectacular. Hashtag Barron Landscape. Share it with your friends. We'll have a heck of a show next week. I'll see you through the week. You get to follow our crazy lives. You guys have a good night. We love you. See you next week.